we've got Andrew Perrie here, the Don of luxury real estate in Niagara, and many other things. the Don Mega.
Yeah. My wife's the Italian one, so she's the Don, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just the lad, the wee lad.
The lad.
That's right.
Great. Where in Italy is your wife from?
Calabria is her father-in-law, and then
My mom too.
Oh yeah, and then her mom's Sicily.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
You don't fuck around with either of those.
Oh no! You want to go to Niagara Falls? There's my mother-in-law's family is the ones that you don't want to mess with. That's
Exactly.
You don't want to mess with my wife either.
Yeah.
You've got to say that on camera to be safe.
Yeah, well, you know what? One of our good buddies, Matt Campoli, who's on the show.
Yeah.
Our mutual friend Nick Regina. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah.
Nick Regina, unbelievable guy. But he has me on his podcast for the first time, and he's just like, "So, what's it like being married to an Italian?" I'm like, "What?" There's all these Italians behind the camera. I'm like, man, it's great.
In your head, you're like, she is.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
Nuts in the best way.
There's like a gun pointed in my mouth.
Yeah. Risky business, man. Risky
That's
business.
right. Yeah.
So how and what's your background? Like, what's the origin story? How did you end up in real estate? Like, what did you do before?
Yeah. So you know what, man? I was in the music industry for a long time. I was a signed solo artist. A little offshoot called Class 21 from Universal Records. So it was a great experience, but eventually there's no money coming in. So I was like, I think I even remember my parents being like, "Hey, you've got one more year left of this. That's what we'll give you." And that year, turned up, and I had a contract for Dubai to go out there for 6 months and sing at a hotel. But I had got charged with a DUI. So the court date fell during that time period, and the contract would not allow me to fly out of Dubai for even a couple of days just to do the court days. So I had to give it up. So right then and there, I got into sales at a company called LA Fitness.
Oh, no way.
And
How old were you?
I was about 24, 25 around this time. And then I'm 37 now. And so what happened was a good friend of mine, she's like, Andrew, you got to do sales. You have to do sales. So I did, and I fucking loved it, crushed it, was one of the fastest GMs in the company's history. So, and I just realized, I'm like, fuck, like the same dopamine that I was getting from being on stage, partying, you know what I mean? And all that dopamine that I was getting there, I replaced it with the dopamine that I got from sales.
Yep.
And so, just like your podcast, Inside the Hustle, it's like the hustle, by the way. So it was, the hustle was essentially the success for me.
Yep.
Because I got to living this, chase, this journey. Whereas some people think of the actual result as the success, but for me, it was the other way around. But what happened was I was realizing that, fuck, I'm working a lot, hustling a lot, and I'm only making like $25, $100 per sale. Where I'm like, now what can I do that is what can I sell? It's going to bring me more per unit. And then real estate was just the natural progression, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like bottle service girls in Miami.
100%, man. That's
just joking.
How do we get out of the party life?
You know what though? It's
join the biggest partiers in the industry.
Realtors.
Right? The realtors.
Yeah. It's crazy. We were talking about that because like I had a pretty wild party year last year, and it was like the dopamine that you get from and like excitement and everything you get from partying. It's the same as sales. Like, and for me, like it's not like like I love when a deal actually closes, because then it's like, okay, all that stress, that anxiety of everything you worked, whatever. Like, I don't know, for you doing luxury, it's probably a little bit shorter than us, but like sometimes we do, like we've had deals that dragged out for 8-9 months. Oh, and it's like just every week it's like, here's a new amendment, here's a new amendment, here's a new amendment. I'm like, fuck.
Dude, you know what? And I was very blessed. I do commercial as well.
Yeah.
And, we had our $3.5 million, just a little commercial deal. And I don't know, it's like a Christmas fucking miracle. No amendments.
Wow.
No. Oh, okay. Like, a few shingles fell off in the home inspection. Fix it. We did. And the next thing you know, closed on time. Nobody had to worry about a thing. I've never had a commercial deal do that ever.
Ever.
Just 2 months before we did this commercial deal, and I took it because I like commercial.
Yeah.
And it was only $500,000.
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful building. I'm like, I fucking love this building. And oh man, the roof caved in. Whole roof caved in. And you know, our buyers were like, we want to back out. I'm like, well,
But why?
I'm like,
we can get them to fix it.
I'm like, it's a firm deal. Like, I agree with you. This is on the sellers, but why back out? I'm like, this is a great building. It's a good structure. And we ended up closing, but that was amendment after amendment after amendment. Ended up getting this beautiful property downtown Niagara Falls. I think we ended up settling for like $425.
Wow. And they just...
Yeah. I'm like, buddy, if we negotiated all of this, that takes care of the roof.
Yep.
That takes care of all of your renovations because although it's a big building, really just an office renovation is really not that much, right?
Yeah.
For a single floor, not like a whole
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Like, I had a residential agent call me 2 days ago, and she's like, "Why are we closing tomorrow?" I'm like, "Oh, it's like not a big issue. Just the guy changed his name from the personal name to a corporation, and it's just gonna take the lawyers an extra day to just fix the paperwork." She's like, "Well, we need $100,000." I'm like, "Yo, like, I don't know why." She's like, "It's not gonna close." I'm like, "Why are you freaking out?" But like, and then I forget that like in residential, that's not as common, right? Like,
That's right.
I can't remember the last time we had a deal close on time.
That's
like,
right.
You know, so
Yeah, everything gets delayed. It's insane.
yeah.
And then you have to explain it to the sellers. Every time, that's the worst conversation is when you have to explain to a seller that the closing has been delayed or that the buyer needs a price reduction.
Yeah. That one's tough to navigate, especially
Yeah.
like in Canada, where a lot of the commercial properties where I'm from, anyways, they're not necessarily owned by big investors or big companies yet.
Yeah.
They're all still that you know, old Italian guy who bought it in the 60s.
Yep.
And they just get so offended when you need a reduction, you need a delay. And whereas business people are like, let's get it, it's going to close. So just whatever we need to do to support the closing.
Yeah, it's
In my
always
experience.
funny. It's like, well, what do you? There's upside here, or they can renovate it, no problem. The building's gonna be great. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's probably gonna cost them $100,000. You don't know when the guy from 20 years when he moved in is gonna leave. So like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But anyway, it's it's interesting.
Yeah, real estate is interesting in general. So that's why I find the longer you're in the business, the more you start realizing, like, I need to hire people. I can't stay battling like this forever.
No.
So you're like, let's turn this into a business, and I can teach people how to navigate.
Yeah.
So what led you to expanding and going from a solo agent to growing a big team?
Do you have a
And-
really big team too, Andrew?
Oh,
Like-
we have about 15.
Okay,
total,
nice.
Yeah, and then we in the Brook. So I have 2 offices that I run for Revel. One in Niagara on Lake, one in Muskoka. And from a agent and staff perspective, we have 40 in the one office and 4 in the other office. But I got into real estate never to be a realtor, if that makes sense. You know, I knew that I wasn't going to be in the sales aspect of the business for long. And once I had that first opportunity by being able to, you know, bring on really good salespeople, develop the systems, have a great structure and accelerated growth program in place if I'm working with you and you're a top producer, great. And what if I just, you know, simply promote you without any additional incentives or there's really no buy-in to want to stay there for a long time.
Yeah.
So figuring out how to create a good contract structure that, you know, encourages growth, how to actually put more money in somebody's pocket so that they want to stay, that was the toughest thing to figure out.
For sure.
And so once we had that, I was able to step back from sales so that I could focus on the actual growth of the company, which is where a lot of realtors, in my opinion, fail.
Yeah.
So what? You're getting the top 10 of your town.
Yeah.
What does that mean now? Where do you go from there?
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like, if that's your goal, that's great. But that is just a never-ending chasing and battling where you're not diversified, right? You know, as commercial realtors, you know, you've got to fucking diversify. So if we put all our eggs in one friggin' market, we'd be done, right? So that's why we've expanded as well.
That's similar to us. Like, I think, you know, we look at just the Ottawa market. It's like, okay, it's great. But I think we both, like, I think we talked about it. And we looked at it from like almost like an e-commerce perspective. Like, why am I only here?
That's right.
Why am I only in Ottawa? Ontario alone is massive. And then you think about other markets, like now we're in Edmonton, Calgary, Halifax, like we're doing deals in all these different areas. And you think about it, you're like, well, why would anybody just want to stick to one market? Like, do you think it's because they just don't have big thinking, or you think?
Well, you know what?
Normal.
I just think the average realtor, I think it's only now getting popular that as a realtor, you're starting your own business, you are creating an actual brand and company. Whereas before, because I swept real estate under the rug for years because I just thought it was, not just like another career choice, like an electrician or a plumber or something. And not to say that to put them down. I mean, the average tradesperson makes way more than the average realtor. That's for
100%.
sure. But what I mean by that is that real estate to majority of realtors is a service. It's where you have a client, they're directing you to do something, and you're taking their direction and doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas a business owner is you're giving, and an advisor, right? You're giving your clients the direction.
Yep.
You're advising the client, which is the biggest difference. And if you're a person that thinks like that, then now you're thinking, okay, well, how can our services expand? So our our clients were going to Muskoka, buying a cottage. I'm like, okay, well, I would like to be a part of that advisory committee that you have behind you on why you should buy a cottage there or why you shouldn't. And then we have our clients going to Costa Rica, going to Florida, going to Texas. You're like, okay, well, I feel like we shouldn't be just referring that out. We should be a part of that transaction, and we should be able to keep them at arm's length so that we could be there. Because for me, and it's probably the same for you boys, is that my clients are not just a method for me to make a commission. Majority of my clients are part of my bigger network. And it's been proven. And now they're introduced. That's how one of the reasons why I got the show, one of the reasons why I got this education and technology piece that I'm working on, which is going to be fucking huge. And I wouldn't have got that if I just provided a real estate service.
It's networking. 100%,
That's right.
100%. I was having this conversation yesterday with a buddy of mine about how we would stay in real estate. Like, I can envision myself being in commercial real estate forever because of the networking and the connection and just learning new things. It's great.
I think it's also like the way we look at it is a lot different. Like you said, like a lot of commercial agents or agents in general, they'll just be like, hey, what do you think about this? It's like, well,
that's right.
What do you mean? Anybody can do that. You're just a donkey on a fucking laptop at that point. Like, we underwrite everything, and we teach our agents too, like, hey, like, advise them, like, tell the story. Why is this a good buy? Like, why should I buy it, or why should they buy it? And then advise them on that. What's the return look like? How much do you have to put down? All that stuff.
Right.
And like, we actually had an agent today reach out, like, on our team. He was like, hey, this guy's working with another agent. We're like, yeah, cool. Like, work with the other agent, no issue. And then that buyer actually came to him and said, hey, like, you guys are like savages. Like, you guys know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about. Like, we just want to work with you. We're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
But it's really funny that you said, hey, what do you think?
Yeah.
Because that process is how I took it when I was, maybe an imposter syndrome, or I had a little bit of an inferiority complex to me, right? Because I felt like, who the hell am I to be making $5 grand, 10 grand, 100 grand per deal? Like, why do I deserve that? Right? So what happened was, luckily it was a good friend of mine. It's just this $300,000 his first home in Niagara, St. Catharines. And I'm like, what do you think, man? What do you think? He's like, stop telling me what do I think. He's like, you're the realtor. You have to tell me what to think.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, it clicked in. And that was like my first or second year. And I never looked back. That's why I tell all my realtors that you never send your clients on an auto email. Right? That's not an experience. And so we do this even for residential. We say, okay, what do the numbers look like? The mortgage rate, the mortgage payment, the property tax, and the utilities, plus the 5-year appreciation of the property. What did the neighbors sell for? And what do you think we can actually get this home for? Because, exactly what you said, although it's not a commercial investment, it's still the largest investment that
most people will ever make, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and like Jack actually taught me this trick is we don't really put clients on auto emails unless they're like really good friends or good clients that we really know. We put ourselves on the auto emails, and then we'll be like, oh, okay, now like we see this, and this, and now let's get that return going and
forward it off with a little blurb.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. And people want to complicate it, as explaining this to my team of realtors, and they're like, yeah, but you didn't give us a design template. I'm like, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be like, hey, this deal just came up. I didn't have time to put it in a design template. Here it is, written out in a plain email format directly in Gmail.
Yep.
right?
Yeah, I remember listening to Ryan Serhant. He said something that always stuck with me. It was like, people don't want to be sold; they want to buy with friends. And like, again, kind of tailoring that experience to whether it's a home buyer or a big buying group in commercial, right? Like, okay, well, again, why does it make sense? And here's what it is, and we've underwritten it. We understand you're going to underwrite it too, but these are our assumptions. Hopefully, we make it a little bit easier for you.
That's right, and that's how you become one of the 5 pillars of somebody's life. You know, you've got your doctor, your personal trainer, your lawyer, your finance guy, right? You know, your funds and all that. And then you got your realtor, where I know so many of our clients never considered their realtor as part of their pillar system because they never shared that experience with them from the beginning, right? Where is that a majority of our business, especially with the NAR settlement, where the future of real estate is going to go, we're always going to be working with our clients because it's a never-ending service that we provide, right?
You know what, too? Like, I'm sure you probably feel the same way. Like, people ask all the time, like, what do you like about it? Like, I'm like, one, I'm competitive. And like, I hate losing.
It's like a sport.
It's sport. But like, man, I get to meet some of the coolest fucking people. Like, we'll talk all the time. We're like, man, did you know this guy started this company or this grocery store or this? And it's like, these guys are worth hundreds of millions or in some cases billions of dollars. And you're just like talking to them and they're the coolest guys. Yeah. You would never know.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so
and
going
then
back.
Opportunities come up. Yeah. Right? Like different opportunities come up.
Outside of real estate too, right? Like
yeah.
Investments, deal flow. Like, again, outside of real estate, maybe it's tech or maybe it's like, hey, John, like, we really like you. We've got this going on. Do you want to be a part of it?
That's right.
Like, hey, you should meet this guy. We think he'd be beneficial. So
that's right.
One thing leads to another, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you, like, what would you say the biggest reason is for you being able to dominate the Niagara market and be in the top 0.001% of agents there?
We finished last year at 0.01. Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much the number 1 guy.
Yeah. Well, number 2 technically. Yeah, we got beat by a guy named Greg Sykes from Remax, great realtor, and then the third spot is David Zindelat, who I think are beating us right now this year. So it always fluctuates, but I just think that the lack of business, I don't want to say sense because I don't want to offend anybody, but it's just not top of mind for the average realtor.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say it's easy for us because it wasn't, but at the same time, it's in Niagara, it wasn't that much competition that we had to really focus on. There was obviously because we were beat, but what I mean is like within ourselves was the biggest competition that we had to kind of overcome.
Yeah.
And so when we started thinking about it, I think the biggest thing that kind of turned the crank was that when you are talking to a client, majority of realtors will do this. They'll say, hey, when are you available? When can you come see this property? I'd really love to show it to you. As opposed to be like, hey, John, it's Andrew. I had some time between appointments. I saw that you inquired or you hearted 123 Main Street on your one portal or whatever, or you logged onto our website or whatever. I have some time on Thursday at 3:15, or I've got Saturday at 11:10. Which one of those works for you? Because I want to make sure that I get you out there.
Yeah.
There's a difference between, people are too scared to call their database because they think it sounds salesy.
Yeah.
What I'm like, well, you're not trying to sell them something. What are you trying to sell them?
Yeah.
They haven't even seen the house.
Yeah.
Service them. And that was the biggest difference, that translated into more production for us.
Yeah.
Confidence too.
Yeah.
Like in
act as the professional. Be the professional.
100%. I think people get in their own heads a lot about like the conversation you have to have. Like, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to seem like this or that. Well, you're not. And again, like, it's your job. Like,
that's right. They expect you to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They want that.
That's right.
Like, people want to buy a house. People want to buy a building. People want to do whatever it is, X, Y, Z, right? Like, again, like sometimes they just need to be told.
That's right. That's right. And I had to tell my accountant that. I had to tell my lawyer that. Where it's like I started building my team around me. I'm like, guys, you can't just say, here's a shit ton of information. What do you think? And I'm like, no, you need to, for one, point form always works best for me. Yeah. But two, you need to basically say, here's, the process of this strategy, this strategy, this strategy. I think you should choose strategy 2 based on your goals. Yep. And then I say, yep, go for it. Whereas, the average realtor, as we already discussed, is just like, hey, what do you think, right?
Yeah, and we get like, super granular with that stuff too, like when we're qualifying people. And sometimes they get offended and it's like, look, the only reason I'm asking this is so I can help you out. How much do you have down? Are you doing it alone or are you doing it with partners?
Yeah.
Okay, great. What's your structure? What areas are you looking for? What's your budget? And the worst is like the biggest red flag is like, we can do anything. Just send us everything.
Yeah.
Like, okay, man. Like,
Yeah.
so if I send you $100 million deal, you're going to go for it? If it's the right deal,
Yeah.
click.
Or I don't have a down payment.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking for a full vendor take back.
Yeah, I need 100% VTBs.
Who taught you this trick?
Like we've done it though.
I wouldn't be surprised in this market that was something that we could actually pull off.
And this market,
Dude.
full of VTBs are
I got a lot of
majority
people
the
that
deals.
because here's what's happening is that I was trying to get my own property appraised.
Yeah.
Well, refinanced, and the appraisal was like a $1.5 million building. They're like, yeah, we'll give you $500. I'm like, I have a $650,000 mortgage on it. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
So like the appraisals are just coming in so low.
Yeah, man.
And if I wasn't as fortunate as I am, and I was forced to sell, there's not a lot of people buying. So doing those VTBs, because nobody wants to pay 11% or 14% on a private loan right now, and
No.
everybody's. There's a lot of private lenders making cake right now on this 14-16% bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. But you know what? Like, even like when you look at it from an investment perspective, like we've bought in a couple of buildings in the last couple of years, and it's like sometimes because the interest rates are so high right now, it's like, okay, well, we know we're going to turn this building over. So does it make sense for me to go 50% loan to value, principal plus interest payments, or do I leverage my cash, go 20% down with a 12% interest only loan? Like the math works out to be the same from a payment perspective, but
Right.
my IRR is way better because I'm only putting 20% down instead
That's
of
right.
50.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So it depends, but I agree with you. Like the shit that we're doing right now is crazy. Like mortgage assumptions or
Yeah.
VTBs or promissory notes or XYZ. Like
Yeah, but what I've experienced too in some of these commercial deals that the fucking seller doesn't have enough money to pay anybody.
Yeah.
Because he's so over leveraged. So he's got mortgage one, mortgage two.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like, okay, so hey, FYI, if everybody gets paid off, you're not getting paid, you're not getting paid.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's got other properties. Okay, well, let's lump them into the deal somehow. But
Yep.
it's fucking wild, man.
It's getting tight. People are
Yeah.
throwing in the towel.
That's right. Well,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
BlackRock abandoned their like a $400 million loss. So they just abandoned that.
Yeah.
big
Is that
ass
the one in
building
LA?
I thought it
Was
was
it
New
New
York,
York?
but I
Okay,
could be
maybe,
wrong.
maybe.
Or
I'm not
Chicago.
sure.
I can't remember.
they had a few, but the thing is, people don't realize with those companies is,
That's a wash.
Yeah.
or it's their forgivable loans. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, cool, man. Like, we have so much business.
Just
and
don't
know
leave
what?
us.
No
Just don't
issue.
leave
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
What did I tell you? When you owe the bank $3 million, you got a problem. When you owe the bank 300, we got a problem.
That's right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
It's fucking interesting.
those guys don't give a fuck.
Yeah, the market now is definitely on edge, but in residential, it's picking up again, isn't it? Like I'm hearing of bidding wars happening again.
Yeah, Niagara's. Man, Niagara's, and it's great because we could work with our buyers and find them something and negotiate and protect them. It's great. So the GTA's, it's a little tough. There's more multiple offers. You can't. That's a problem too. Is like people just get so caught up. You can't have any conditions. Whereas Niagara, it's a little less competitive right now. So we've had a very slow quarter, very slow. But that Parveen guy that I was telling you off camera, he's did fucking 75 deals this quarter. It's like what?
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
75 this quarter?
This quarter.
Jesus.
So, and I'm just like, shit, man, what the hell are we doing now? Now I got to talk Punjabi on TikTok. 'Cause that's how he does it.
Yeah, he's targeted. Very
He's
niche.
got it so dialed. He's got it so. And he's a
Yeah,
great
that
guy
makes
too.
sense.
And he's got this big, beautiful gray beard. By the way, great style. Anyway, so to answer your question, it's the residential market is still slow, but the problem is that as soon as that one rate announcement goes, it's going to explode and people are going to get fucked again.
Yeah.
So that's what I was worried about. I thought more of our buyers would take more of an initiative, like even after all the advice, like, look, this house is 500 right now. Yeah, okay, your mortgage rate is 5.5. Big effing deal.
Yeah.
Because this time next year, when you've done your variable or your 1 year fix, talk to your mortgage broker, by the way, not me.
Good. No, that's a good call.
Right? Now this house is worth 550 and you just refinance.
Yeah.
Why buy it at 600 next year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's the
Anyways.
trick. That's the trick. Make sure you're getting variable
Right,
or
but
short term.
that just goes to show you that more and more people can't handle, because right now they might still be locked in at a 2.5.
Yep.
And they still got it for one more year, maybe 2 more years, and they just can't afford that, because my mortgage doubled. It was $3,500 and it went up to $7,000. And so if your mortgage doubles and you're at 500, okay, maybe you're at like a 1,200, 1,500, but now you're at 3,000.
Yep.
And I just don't think that somebody could, the average person can afford that.
Yeah, it's the same with me. Like I was
big
at
jump.
21 and now I'm at 3,600 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy. Like, again, like if you're not in the position you're in, like the average person, like, you know, I think for me, I look at it like, okay, well, do a couple extra deals. No big deal. Whatever.
Yeah, because you have the opportunity to
That's
do
what I'm
that.
saying, like,
somebody's
some
on
of
a
it-
salary.
I know, that's what I'm saying though. Like,
Yeah,
they're fucked.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's, I mean, I bought my townhome for $585 or like, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. And my neighbor across the street, end unit, granted, but still, they paid like $890. I'm like,
Yeah, during
the
the,
fuck,
I know.
during the 1% interest rates, 1.8%
Yeah.
interest rates.
Those
Yeah.
are, and that's the thing, is that those people, those 1%ers, 0.999, we saw 2%. They did 5 years.
I locked that thing in.
So-
I'm still good for 2 years.
Yeah. Well,
don't
so
even know
that's
when
the
my
thing, is
renewal is
that
up. I should check.
a lot of it's coming up, 25, 26.
Yeah, then it's gonna be a disaster.
Yeah.
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 If-
And
if
inflation went up too, right? Because of fucking carbon tax. I don't know
True,
how you
yeah.
guys live in this town.
You know what, man? We're getting
Yeah,
out of
the
here.
market auto was expensive.
Yeah, well, no, but you know, I don't think I could live that close to Trudeau. I don't
I was just gonna say, all we need is that guy to drop another pandemic on us, go back to 1% interest rates, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
I don't know if that's the best plan, but
Drop another.
it would work for
pandemic.
me.
Drop it, yeah, man. Drop another pandemic on us, fucking call it a day. That was some fun.
Shit. Yeah, no, absolutely. I just, you never know.
No,
It just
you're right.
you don't know the opportunities until they're gone. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Well, because I never saw interest rates higher or low, like whatever. Like for me, like I'm 28, I'll be 29 this year, and when I'm like, I was buying a bunch of buildings and a bunch of like my house and whatever, and I'm like, this is gonna be like this forever. Like I've never seen a down market. What the
Yeah.
fuck is a down market? Like recession.
Yeah.
Fucking 2021, baby.
yeah, that's
You know,
right.
then like shit hit. I'm like, oh, this is what
Yeah.
it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
is
you
crazy.
you feel it. You really feel a down market when you're in real estate and you have a team. But when you're a solo agent, because I've been doing this for 11 years now, and I never really felt a down market. And I've been through down markets, but you only feel it when you have a team. So because of your costs,
Yeah.
you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
things have slowed down now. I need to start looking at expenses a little bit like
Yeah.
deeper. You know, you have to get a little more creative on how else you could bring in more income. Because
It was like our
down
buddy-
markets are a real thing.
Our buddy yesterday was like, I'm not gonna say the name, but he was like, man, like he's got a really big team. He's like, oh man, like I fuck, it was profitable the last couple months, and then I looked at next month and I was like, fuck, I'm negative again. It's
Yeah.
like it just hits you like,
Dude,
bang.
this quarter I lost $100,000
Yeah, that's
just
fucking
in
nuts.
expenses,
See,
right?
you feel it when you have a
We
team.
were supposed to be around that 500K GCI. We've now 99.
Wow,
Crazy.
Yeah, it was just that slow. But we have pages and pages of listings.
Yeah.
And like it's going to explode for us, but it's going to be June, July.
Yeah, it's just like, I think your stress tolerance, right? And then
Yeah.
also like, have you planned to be
That's
in
right.
a down market, right? Like
That's
a lot
right.
of people
Yeah.
haven't.
Yeah. Luckily, that commercial deal that just went through easy peasy was
Yeah.
a nice little cushion.
Yeah,
But that's now not my income. It's the team's, right? So it's
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, so this is just covering the lack of production that we weren't able to do, right?
yeah,
Well, that's what's good about being at the top of the game, because at least you can survive. If you survive the market now,
Yeah.
when it comes back up, you're laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've
And
built-
it's not from a lack of business either. It's that like our listings are just we can't we have to make a choice, and we do this consciously on every single listing appointment we go on. We have to make a choice. Do we bother working with the seller who will not come down in price,
yep,
or do we take it for the marketing ability?
yep.
Because the more listings we have, the more ads we can do, the more leads we can get.
More buyers, yeah.
But it's just right now we have 20 listings that aren't selling.
Yeah.
And
similar
we
to
have
us.
40 in the pipeline where we just simply are not moving forward with them until the market goes up to where they want to be, or we get them down to where it has to be.
Yeah. And people like it always. I laugh because people are like, "Oh no, I want whatever." We tell them, "Hey, you're worth $8 million." Like, I want 9. Be like, "Man, I would love to get you 9. Do you not realize if I get you 9, I get paid more too?"
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So people don't get it. It's like I'm not doing this to be a dick or tell
That's
you, hey,
right.
you didn't do enough to your property. It's just the
Yeah.
reality of the market.
That's right.
And some people take it to heart, and I think
Well, I had to tell a seller that. She's like, I know. She's like, you just want your commission. I'm like, no, I've brought you 3 offers, and they're all around the price range that I told you from the beginning, and you want an extra $100,000. I'm like, that would net me another $3,000. I would love to do this for you.
Yeah.
And I had to put her in her place because I was actually offended that one of my clients would actually think that I was just doing it for the commission. I'm like, I don't need to sell your house.
Yeah.
I have 50 other listings. I don't need to sell your house. I want to because I'm here for you.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, right? So people get stressed out, but at the same time, it's like, it's and the commercial space is a little different, but in the residential space, we're dealing with like a lot of fucking emotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is a lot more emotion. That's actually one of the reasons I had to transition personally.
Yeah.
Me too.
Because of the emotion. I'm like, I can't take this emotion
for us,
anymore.
it's a lot of ego.
Yeah.
That's what it
It's
is.
a different
I
thing.
bet,
It's-
yeah.
yeah. You
Ton of
go
ego.
from one thing to another.
Yeah. But you know what?
It's all
Like,
part of business.
Oh, I don't need to sell it.
yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then
Exactly.
why the fuck did you call me?
Fuck did you call me?
That's great, man. Good for you. But
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Andrew. Like,
Yo.
when it goes to your team, how do you select who you want to bring on? Like, is it a culture thing? Is it the drive? Like,
That's a
mix
tough
of
one,
everything?
because I would love to sit here and say that I only go for top producers.
Yeah.
I only want the best of the best. But when I find somebody that jives with the team, has
Yep.
the same culture, that's where we want to be. The shitty part is that they have to be open to learning to do more deals and being coached and actually going out there and have the willingness to do it.
Yeah.
Because it cost me $72,000 to have a realtor on my team.
wow.
That's how much we spent on expenses, client parties, closing gifts, CRMs, everything. Coaching, we have like 3 coaches. So it's all of these expenses add up, and we just need to know that person, although they drive with us, can at least cover their weight.
Yeah.
So it's really tough. I mean, I really don't look for past sales experience or past sales like their trade records or anything like that. I just want to know that, they're willing to learn and not afraid of the phones, those kind of things.
Yeah, it sounds like it's the same as us. Like, culture is the main
Exactly,
thing.
yeah.
Like, he'll call me or I'll call him and be like, we need this guy or we need
Yeah.
this girl. Like, this is,
Yeah.
He's got
You
a
know.
very good judgment on
Yeah.
people when they
yeah,
come.
dude, yeah.
Yeah, I thought I did.
There's been a couple
You
for sure. but
got to have some metrics to look at.
Of course.
like
of course.
your team metrics.
I
That's
think
right.
I think like you said though, one of the biggest things is like, are you driven and are you coachable?
Yeah.
Like, or do you just have an ego and you're like, everybody else is wrong, I'm right, I
Yeah.
can't be taught, I know everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if that's like,
Well, the problem is that just like any business, is that once that cancer gets there,
yeah,
it can literally eat away at your business.
yeah,
And that's the problem is like, you have one realtor talking to the next realtor, and then, it just spreads like a viral disease,
That's
right?
a good point. You got to watch out.
But at the same time, and it's just like, again, I would love to sit up here and say I've got our team on lock and I'm the best leader, and without me they wouldn't. It's not true.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at firing people. I'm
I always tell them, yo, you do it.
terrible at it, and it's like I'm also just I'm to a point where it's like I've told you what to do multiple times now, and I just like, if you don't get it, I don't know what else I can do for you.
yeah,
But the problem is that I take everybody's opinion to heart, and I love feedback, right? So it's like, okay, so what else do we need to add to the team to help support you? And I really encourage that, and I want people to tell me. And they'll say like, hey, we need different marketing. Hey, maybe we should do this event. Maybe we should do this. Those are all great ideas. Let's do it.
yeah,
But there's a difference between providing feedback and offending the team based on, hey, this is a service that we do, all team leaders should provide it, and you're not providing it. And I say, what the fuck are you talking about? It cost me 10 grand a month just to have you here.
Yeah.
So what service are we missing?
Yeah.
So having somebody on the team like that can really affect morale. And then now it's like, why aren't you doing that for us, right? Yeah. So you have to be selective in that sense. Yeah. And we have a really amazing team, and we promote the feedback, and we encourage people to speak up.
Yep.
And I think that we have a really good culture, and it's just,
that's the biggest thing to help with the culture is like everybody wants to feel like they're giving their input and and they're a part of it, right? And something we talked about implementing, I read it in a book. It was like on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about whatever, our relationship or our training or whatever it is? I don't know, it's a 5. Okay, why is it a 5?
I love that.
What would make it a 10? And then you just keep asking until they tell you, like, what would make it a 10? Yeah. And it could be with anything, relationships, systems, like anything. So
I really like that because, shit, see, you always learn something. Yeah. Because I do the same thing. It's like, hey, how can we be better?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I don't know. You guys are pretty good, I guess. Where it's not specific enough. You know?
You got to dig deeper sometimes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I like that. I'm going to do that on our next meeting.
Sometimes they will shoot ideas out that you're like, this could be great for the team.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
like
right.
we've also implemented like executive meetings just with like the leadership of the company too. And like,
we do that. Yeah.
like,
I love that.
Yeah. It's the best because
like
me and him, like I wrote an offer the other day because our assistant was off and I was like, this is like, thank God I have a PDF or a Word doc that I can copy and paste.
Yeah.
She called me yesterday. She's like, you still fucked it up, right?
Yeah. Especially with the new dresser rules. I wish I was in commercial full time so I didn't have to worry about it.
Well, you know what? Like, she's pretty good. Like, Katie is very good. Our assistant is like, emailing the entire team. Hey, like, I just watched this webinar. This is the new Tressa stuff. This is what we need, and this is what you can't do anymore. And we're like, what do you mean we can't do that? That's like our entire business.
That's our entire business. But yeah, you know what? But that's why we call all of our admins and the managers leaders. So that's our leadership meeting, our leadership team. Yeah. And we just feel like our one admin has 4 raises in 2 years.
Yeah.
And she deserves every fucking penny of it.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
Like, we have
especially working with me.
We have like pretty cool like bonuses and compensation structure, and like we talk about it all the time. Like, I want to pay you. I want to give you money. And like you said, like they're worth it. Like
absolutely.
You want to keep them, all right? You want to keep them happy. We've actually we've initiated additional bonus structures, like incentives. Yeah. On like, hey, if the team does this, you get this.
I think
like,
even
bonuses.
Yep. We do $100 per deal for our director of ops. So the more deals we do, you do 100 deals, there's 10 grand.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's good. That's
similar
good.
It's similar to our metric. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Do you do anything to like motivate the people, like the agents on the team too? Like, hey, if you hit your goal, like I'm sure they all have specific goals or whatever.
So we have agent of the month. We also, we come up with random competitions based on what we're lacking.
Yeah. Right.
So if our Google reviews are down, we'll do a Google review. Hey, first 1 to 5 Google reviews this month, they'll get a $100 gift card. If it's sales, obviously is the big one, but it's more about like who can convert the first appointment from an open house. Right. So small things like that really gets them to focus on one specific thing. If you just say, hey, go out there and get us 5 sales at the end of the month and, we'll choose the winner. That's like, well, fuck. Where do I start? Where do I begin? Yeah. Like I just closed a deal and I don't have anything in the pipeline. So it's more like, the thing is we used to do like, here's a spa package.
Yeah.
But we don't do that anymore. The rewards are like $50, $100 to the cake is different. But for example, our one agent, Maria, who's absolutely phenomenal. She's been in the business like 10 years. We noticed that she was starting to do very, very well with seniors.
Yeah.
So we paid for her to get her senior accredited course. So it's like things like that. So we don't want to reward people with something that's going to take their mind off the business. We want to reward them with something that is going to improve their skills.
That's a good idea.
Right?
I like
so
that.
You get an hour with me. You get an hour one-on-one with our business coach. Things like that.
It's we did that this week actually. We were like, hey, like, because we want to get in the mindset of putting out offers. We have so much business in the pipeline and it's so difficult because you're always getting new business and then you forget about the old stuff, but you're like, oh, that would have been great for this person, but now this person bought or this person sold or whatever, right? So we said like, we were like this week, if everybody puts out 2 LOIs or 2 offers, I'll do our entire team meeting from the cold plunge. It's like, we're on the way, but
We had 10 deals in February.
Yeah.
That was the goal to, with our salespeople, we were supposed to have technically 18.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's like we just wanted to improve morale. We said, get us 10 deals and we'll go get some duck from one of our Asian restaurants.
Yeah.
And it's just this thing on our team that everybody loves the duck from this fucking Chinese place. It's good, but I'm a hunter. I like real duck that we shot in the marsh.
Yeah.
Right? But I do love
winery.
but I do love the restaurant. It's great. So we have that next Thursday. We have the entire team. We sit in this big room and we're gonna just munch out.
Yeah.
Nice.
We love it.
Like I think it's like what you said. Like it's not always monetary stuff. It's like just how do you boost morale? And
I'm joking around a little bit. Yeah, it sucks that I lost $100,000
for sure.
But our team of realtors, they're all so unique in special with certain things of their business, and they're all trying. I know they're all trying, and that's what I love about these guys and girls is that they're all fucking trying, and it's just not coming together. So I could either say, hey, look, and I did. I said, hey, look, I'm at $100,000. If you guys could pick things up, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But but it's not in my spirit to like fucking put people down. That's why I created our morning email. So I'm sending them an email every morning between 5 and 6 a.m. And
That's
it's
a good
not
idea.
just motivational stuff. There's some pieces of motivation in it, but it's also tactical. Like yesterday, it was 23 things that you can do right now in your business to create more business.
That's a good idea.
Because when things
I do like that.
good idea.
I like that.
I'll just subscribe.
Yeah.
So I can put you on my coaching emails. I call it coaching, but it's not coaching. It's just like my thoughts every morning. And that's also I do it. I also post that email on LinkedIn as well, so that it's just it's a little bit more user friendly.
Yep.
But because we had our team, like when it gets slow, it's natural. It's natural for a realtor, and I know this because I did it. It's like I'm so slow. I got to get a new lead ad campaign. We got to look at new lead generation companies. We got to hire this. We got to do this program. Where you're like, why are you getting off track?
Yep.
Focus. You know what you need to do. You need to have more conversations with new people on a daily basis. You know this. And so that's what those emails are. It's like, look, you don't have to go and hire something or pay for a course or pay for a lead gen company to bring you more leads. You have the leads.
Yeah.
But here's 23 ways that you can actively implement into your business right now. Yeah. Right? So it's just, sometimes they just need that little reminder that the next shiny object isn't necessarily going to bring you more business.
Yeah, and I think it's important for them to realize too, like it's not just them, like you as leadership do that too, right? Like we get off track.
I do that all the time. Like, fuck, I got to hire a new coach. I got to go, right? And you're good. Slow down.
Yeah, like we had that conversation because I remember in 2022, we were buying a building and I was focused on just doing that and he was doing the sales and I'm like, I'm not doing sales. I feel like I'm letting him down. Like I'm getting off track. I'm like spitting all these ideas. He's like, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like,
that's right.
You're doing it, you're fine, but like, here, do this, this, and this. Just get back to what you were normally doing. And then,
you know what? I learned that at LA Fitness because at LA Fitness, my senior VP, Mike Rickard, God bless him, I still quote him to this day, almost every day. And I'm like, Mike, can I get some business cards? And he's like, this is your business card.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it took me so long to figure out what the fuck he meant by that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I would literally love a business card. That'd be great. It says my name on it. It says sales on it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, hey, Mike, I would really like to go and set up a booth at this place. It's going to cost $800, but I'd love to do it. He's like, why are you spending money? I'm like, I spend money and make money, man. He's like, no. He's like, there's thousands of people right outside of this door. Why aren't you talking to them? Especially about fitness, right? Stopping and talking to somebody about fitness might seem a little uncomfortable, but hey, you're just asking somebody how are they feeling about their fitness goals on a scale of 1 to 10. We used to do that.
Yeah.
And then, so
I worked at Good Life for a little bit.
Yeah.
It was the same shit.
Right. And right. Although we had a guest pass, so it was a little bit easier. Right. But you don't have a free home obligation, I guess, is your guest pass. But at the same time, it's like, you don't need to spend money to make money, especially in sales. All you just need to do is talk to somebody. Yeah. Is it easier that you now have 100 leads from Facebook in your CRM than you didn't yesterday? Yes, but online leads is just they're getting a little less quality now and a little bit more it's an arrow to actually, find the good ones. So.
Yeah, making your contacts is important in real estate.
That's right.
Yeah, agents tend to do that. They start working on one deal. I know it's a little off topic in a way, but agents who prospect are the ones who are winning.
That's right.
Just make your calls, make your contacts, and even if you're doing a deal, don't forget to prospect.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. That's the biggest thing, man, is that they get caught up like, I'm going to make 10 grand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but where's your next deal? What are you going to do? Can you wait 3 months
10
to
grand
get
will
paid?
leave real quick.
That's
10
right.
grand will fly.
But you asked about, when I'm interviewing people, and the number one question that I ask every single realtor who comes on our team is like, what's the number one job of a realtor? And they're like, quality service, showing houses, negotiating a great offer. I'm like, no, it's lead generation.
Yep.
Like you cannot do any of that without leads. So that's your number one goal.
Yeah. You're basically a marketing person. Like you're a lead gen specialist. Like that's all you are.
That's right.
Right? Like there's different aspects to the job for sure, but I mean, you're not going to negotiate an offer you don't have, brother.
Exactly. Yeah. Practicing negotiating an offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how'd you land the A&E? It's
A&E?
A&E television show.
Yeah. So you know what? I always got into real estate. I'm like, okay, how do I turn this into like, this is before Gary Vee, right? So this is like, how do you translate being a realtor in make it like a media company? Like how do you get your face out there in order to leverage more business and et cetera, all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, I want to audition for HGTV. So I was auditioning for roles, didn't get any of them, right? And then a couple of years ago, I was commissioned by Chorus, and I was trying to find that media today on my drive up, and the fucking files are gone. Anyways,
Shit.
so I shot a pilot commissioned by Chorus. Chorus didn't like it, although I spent 10, 12 grand on producing this pilot. And so after that, I was just frustrated. The audio didn't come out right, and I was just like, fuck, screw it. I'm just going to focus on my sales, focus on the team. 2 weeks later, a random email comes in saying, hey, Andrew, I noticed that you've got this $3 million cottage in Barry's Bay. We'd like to shoot it for a TV show. I'm like, oh, shit. And they're like, I'm like, it's finally happening. And they're like, can you hop on a Zoom call? And I did. And they said, we absolutely love you. We want to get you on the show. Make it happen. Wow. So that's how it happened.
Nice.
I had given up about my media dreams. And then just when, I thought it wasn't going to happen is I got a random email.
Maybe
right timing. Right timing, right listing.
But that's exactly, you just said it. So that's what people are missing. The influencers who are going up on staging and speaking, which is great. If you're talking about, real estate, though, you should have the backing. Something, because I was big fake it till you make it. I was a big smoke, blow the smoke for the first couple of years of my real estate career. Although I was a good realtor, I did 100K, 200K.
It's just confidence. Right?
But, right? But what I realized, the real opportunities come when you're actually fucking good at something.
Yeah.
So I got this opportunity, not because I was searching for it, but because I had the accolades in the business behind me to create that credibility that somebody eventually saw and was like, okay, we got to get them in.
100%. Yeah, it doesn't just come to you, right?
That's right.
They say you get lucky the harder you try.
That's right. Exactly. 100%.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But that did remind me of what happened to him. So because we're also out there and we're doing podcasts and we're on social media, someone approached him. Who was it again?
Someone messaged me on Instagram like, hey, like, we saw your profile and some of your stuff online. Like, would you be interested in doing a show? I'm like, yeah, like I'll audition, whatever. I'm like talking to her. I thought it was a scam, but then the guys, like my boys were like, oh man, like just message her back, see what it's about. And I'm like, what? Like, what's this thing
Was
about?
this recently?
It was... When was it?
Few
Last
months.
year?
Okay.
No, it was
6
last
months
year.
or something.
6 to 8 months, something like
Okay.
that. Anyway, it was a dating show. It's called Men Who Have Everything But Love.
That's the best.
So anyway, like I did like 2 or 3 interviews, and then just on the last one, they were like, "Yeah, like we'll give you a call back," and never got a call
It's so
back.
funny because I got one a couple months ago too. So I thought it was the same one. This was a men's show, but it was Holiday Hunt. So it was from the creators of Cake Wars. Or
no
Cupcake
way.
Wars.
Okay.
I'm like, oh shit, this is so cool. My wife watches this all the time. And they're like, okay, so we're going to film in May. So I obviously didn't get it or I would have got the call. But basically, it's, you got to go sing, go door to door. And as like choir or whatever, What do you call it?
I know what you're talking about. It's pissing me off.
Sing
now.
carols.
Caroling.
Yeah.
So you got to carol. You got to, like hang up Christmas lights or untangle Christmas lights, put up a Christmas tree, wrap a present, all that kind of crap. I'm like, sure, let's do it. I'm like so open. But then I'm like, it's I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Some of them are odd. I remember I was like running home from a meeting and then like I was like, hey, like I need to put a suit on for this, and like it was just up top, and like I was like, cool, like I don't have, like I was like 5 minutes late for this thing.
I know, I did mine in my car. I think she was like, "Are you in your car?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah. So I had like my dress shirt and my suit on, and then he's like, the guy goes, "Oh, can you stand up and do like a twirl for the camera?" I'm like, bro, can we pause this because I don't have pants on? I
would have just hired you off that. Yeah. That would have been great.
He's like, yeah, we're gonna pause it. I'm like, okay, cool. But yeah, I think like. Those experiences are definitely interesting.
Yeah, you wouldn't get it if you weren't putting yourself out.
I think it would have been funny. I think it would have been hilarious.
It would have been pretty funny. This guy would have actually done it, I think, because he was single at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, why not? It's like free leads.
Always single. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when is your show?
Yeah, it aired a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, nice. On A&E?
Yeah, on A&E, Cottage Life and Apple TV.
So is it kind of like, we'll say like $1 Million Listing New York, but it's geared toward cottages in Ontario, or is it like that?
Yeah, so that's the thing. We never say where it is. So because it's an American audience as well, right? They'd be like, where the hell is this?
It's fucking Barry's Bay?
Yeah.
Fucking Barry's Bay.
So we basically, I take out a set of buyers. We go see 3 houses and or 3 cottages, and then they choose one at the end.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they renewed for a 5th season, and they invited me back. So we film in late May.
Nice.
Sweet. So...
Nice.
So is it your buyers, or they have buyers that are in the area? Like, cause
It's fake.
Oh,
Yeah, they're actors.
fuck, that's
I'm like,
crazy.
fuck, nobody's gonna buy my listing.
Yeah, man.
We ended up not even shooting my listing. We found 6 other different ones that worked better.
Wow, we should do that.
It's still a good way to market the listings.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. Most of them are on the market. Most of them are. 3 that we did weren't on the market, just friends of mine or people that we knew.
We should collaborate and do a commercial one. The shit that I see in some of these fucking units, man.
That would be cool.
Like,
Yeah.
That would be
some
cool.
of these tenants,
that's
bro.
what everybody I talked to now, they're like, why don't you just do your own show? Like, hire an actual better production company and get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be funny, man. Like I said, like just the people you meet on a daily basis, and like even some of the tenants in some of these buildings. I remember one time I like knock, hello, no one, knock, hello.
Yeah,
all right,
I've
fucking
been there.
cool. Like this guy like comes out and he's like, you walked in on my wife naked. She just had a seizure. Get the fuck out of my. I'm like, bro, I'm like, what? I'm like, I was like 21 at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I had just started.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, this is
So
fucking
funny.
crazy.
Yeah. I've been there. You're like,
Crazy stories. What happened with you?
oh my gosh, we've done it. We've seen it all, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But one of our agents was walking in, knocked, did the whole thing, right? We always train our agents to knock. And she's just walking around with her clients, and a guy just comes walking out of the bathroom fully naked. He was in the shower.
Yeah. We get that. We get that quite a bit.
Yeah.
The shower one, yeah.
The shower
That's
one is
happened to me
always
too.
like, yeah. So outside of real estate, like what others, like, are you investing a lot? Like whether it's buildings or startups or whatever, like do you have another?
Yeah, so
Thing?
we have a vacation property rental in Costa Rica.
Nice.
We have a mixed-use building. It's about 10,000 square feet in downtown Bracebridge. It's like my pride and joy. I love it. But mostly every dollar I go to growing the team.
Yeah.
Right now that's kind of, I wouldn't say on autopilot, but now that it's fully set up, we're always improving. But one of my really, really good clients, he sold his tech company for like 20 million, 200 million, something like that, something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he's like, Andrew, he's like, I'm working with X, I can't tell you who it is yet, in the States. He's a very, very famous realtor. And we've built this company, and we want to work with you and get you involved on having it in Canada or something similar, maybe different. But, we want to work with you and with whatever we kind of develop. And there's an education aspect to it. There's a marketing aspect to it. And there's a client portal, and it's just going to be really, really big. And it's backed by some really big people. So really looking forward to that. So
I'll tell you in 2 or 3 names off camera.
Yeah. Okay. So we also I'm also working on a book.
Yep.
So that coaching program and the education program. And then I do a lot of speaking. So I was just in Texas, Arlington. I was in Ottawa a few weeks ago.
Oh,
so,
for the you were with Matt?
yeah, Richland.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. I didn't
So
know
I
that.
was there speaking, and I travel all across North America and just try to, meet as many people as I can. That's my
And
goal.
3 kids.
Yeah, 3 kids, 3 boys.
Holy fuck, dude. Sometimes I'm like, I do a lot. And then I hear guys like you, I'm like, fuck, I don't do anything.
Yeah, when
Well-
you have 3 kids and you're doing all that.
Yeah, well, that's why I wake up at 4, because half my day is done before they even wake up.
What time do you sleep?
9.
See, I'm the same. People think I'm crazy for that. I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
Because I can do so much. People are like, what do you do? I'm like, I've read, I've walked the dog, I've had
Yeah.
breakfast, I've cold plunged, I've sauna,
Yeah.
gym, I've worked, and now I'm going to the office. Like,
You do more in that 4 hours, 3 hours that most people don't even do in their entire fucking life.
I am so
Yeah.
fucking productive during those times.
Yep.
And then like I have like a little midday crash where I'm like, okay, I need a 10-minute power nap. And then I'm like, okay, I'm back.
Yeah, if I go home, because I do that sometimes, because my office is close, and if I go home, it's like, I'm done. It's
Yeah.
like 2 o'clock, I'm like, okay, so
Yeah.
just now I know not to go home.
Yeah.
Push
yeah.
it.
And the kids are jumping all over you.
Yeah, because 2 of them aren't in school yet. Well, our second will be in school by next year, so September.
Yeah.
I tried doing that the other day. I went home. After a long day, I went and laid down on the sofa. Tell my wife, I'm like, wake me up in 10 minutes. She's like, don't worry, you're not even going to sleep. My son just comes jumping right at me. He's 2 years old.
Yeah.
Hammering me with toys. He destroyed my arm. And
Yeah.
scratched-
Oh,
The best
Bit
Andrew,
me.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll be on like on a call or like we'll be like on a team call or whatever. And
Yeah.
like usually it's just us who all here's Jack. Lana, come get your son. He's like, we're busy.
Oh man, because my wife's Italian, so my kids are obviously Italian. My third child is basically like a.
Yeah.
What's wrong? You okay? Okay.
Oh,
make
yeah.
your mic,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
So my third son, he's like, he's literally stares at you.
Just grills you.
And I'm like, he's the fucking mafia. Everybody says it. He's like, he's the mafia. He's got our old family roots. And the guy comes in and he's like, and I was just sleeping yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? I'm just sleeping. Punch right in the face. He suckers you. He'll sucker every single child. He'll just like literally
Bang.
come up behind you. Right? Oh my gosh! And even my oldest son, he's 8, and then my middle son is 3, and then my earliest is 2. And it's like they're all scared of him because he'll
He's the
smash
aggressor,
you.
huh?
Yeah, but my middle son weighs more than the oldest son. And there's a 4-year difference. So I think Cade, my middle son's going to be the fucking tank. He's going to be the football guy.
He's the one that just suckers people.
No, he's the nice guy.
Oh,
You
really?
can't, he's like, Jagger, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. But if he turns around and hits you, you're done.
Yeah.
He's got so much weight behind him. Oh my gosh. But my wife, like, her brothers, they wrestled and stuff growing up, but they're different. Like, they're like, even though they grew up on the farm at the winery, they're different. Like how I grew up. Like I grew up fighting, hockey, skateboarding, rough, sledding, snowmobiling, all of that. And these kids are just kind of just walking clones of me, and they're just fighting each other, skateboarding, So
They get
It's
hectic.
in the blood, right?
it's every if I'm on a call at
motherfucker.
home, it's all just screaming. Screaming. Sometimes it's for no reason. They're just screaming.
Yeah.
Like I had a meeting with the ex-CEO of one of the largest real estate database companies in the world. And because we're starting something new, it's gonna be great. And like just my kids are coming in and screaming. I'm like,
Can't work from home.
right? And and she actually told me, she's like, I don't actually have kids. I'm like, yeah, good. Yeah. I can see that
the
why.
shit?
You're very productive.
Yeah.
Right. So, but we love them. They're great. They're just menaces.
When you had your first and then like, you know, the kids after, did you find it like had a shift in your mindset? Like, I'm sure you were always driven, you wanted to do things, whatever, like from the sounds of what you were doing, like you definitely have the same mindset and whatever. But when you had those kids, was it like, oh shit, like I need to really turn it the fuck up right now? I need to.
Yeah. You know what? I'll be very honest. I know that I have to do it, but I'm like, my kids are going to be good.
Yeah.
Like, I know that I have to do this because it's going to support the family. I've got the wife who stays home, cooks, cleans, does everything, manages the kids.
Yeah.
You know, if I ever said that, grab your son.
Yeah.
I got bitched at because I said, I've got to babysit. She's like, you're not a babysitter. You're their dad. I'm like, shit. Okay, you got me there. But you know what? I just always knew that I'm like, this is my path. This is what I need to do. So to answer your question directly, no, when the kids came, I didn't have that extra motivation or switch. I just always knew that that was going to be the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. I think, because I think about it all the time, like, man, like, if I have kids, I would freak the fuck out. Like, I got a really good support system, you know, we're doing well, the business does well, but like, I think it would just put me on like a fucking whole new mindset.
I've got this year, 2 kids were at the hockey arena. So my one son plays 3 times a week. My second son just started, so he plays 1. So I was at the arena 3 to 4 times a week. And then when my third kid's, he'll be starting the can skate program. So I have 3 kids at the arena. I've built my business though, where when my staff goes home, I go home.
Yeah.
I'm never at the office past 4 o'clock, and I don't go on appointments. Obviously, for certain listing appointments, I'll go. But all my clients, I was just naturally headed that way because all my clients were 55 plus, so they were all retired. They didn't want to meet me at night or on the weekends.
Yeah, that's similar to us in commercial. It's like people are like, "Do you work on weekends or after hours?" Like, yeah, like we're always talking to each other, or like we're doing back end stuff, or you know, maybe there's cleanup that we have to do from the day. But for the most part, like, unless it's urgent, I'm not really talking to clients unless it's, like, again, urgent, or if they're in a different time zone, like we have clients in Vancouver or in Europe or whatever, that's different. But for the most part, it's like, bank's not going to pick up my phone call after 5.
Yeah.
Appraiser's not. Like, lawyers definitely not.
Yeah.
Insurance guys are not. Like, so what the fuck am I going to do?
We're doing online work. We're like, online work is really what we do. Like, we don't do a lot of meetings.
No.
Like, there are meetings, but it's organized 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So it's
because a lot of them are full-time investors, or it's large like institutional companies. So like, let's grab lunch, or we'll you know, come to the office at 10 a.m., 11 a.m., whatever.
That's right.
That's it. So
you answered your question.
And I have, like, don't get me wrong, like I have my core clients that are either local or we have a really, really good relationship. And if they call me, they need me on a Sunday, like, I'm going to show one of my clients' houses. It's off market, $6 million. I'll go there on a 3 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yeah. And I find like there's certain clients that like,
I'll do it for 200. If you're a good friend of mine, or if it's 200,000, I'll go.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's certain clients that are like, I just want to hang out with you. Like we get along and like it's fun.
Yeah,
whatever,
we get on well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just organizing everything. Like,
I know.
being organized when you have kids.
One of my clients, I can't. They would be pissed if they hear this, but like they like find me like random shit, like raw milk.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go meet them tomorrow morning and pick up the raw milk. Like, I love these guys. They're the best clients. You know,
yeah.
One's Serbian, one's Italian, and they've always got, you know, a story to tell me, and it's always so interesting, and I love seeing them. Right, so you do what you can for those types of clients.
Yeah. 100%.
Other clients are a little bit more structured, and you're just like, nope, 9 to 5, you've got me. 5 to 10, or weekends, you've got her.
Yeah. So on that note, there's a funny story. Jack and I, we were in Toronto meeting very good clients of ours. We've done a lot of business with them. We were celebrating. We did a $20 million deal here with them. Yeah. And we're on the rooftop in Toronto celebrating and whatever. And Jack doesn't really drink.
Yeah.
So whatever, they catered like a bunch of food, and we're just, you know, there's like 5 of us up top. We're just talking, shooting the shit. And let's grab a shot of tequila. It's like fucking 2 o'clock on like a Tuesday. So we take the shot, and we had bubblies in front of us, like the little sparkling waters.
Yeah.
And whatever, I take my shot, I drink it, whatever. He takes his shot and drinks his bubbly too, whatever. It's all good. And like, we're having a conversation the rest of the afternoon. And I like go to grab Jack's bubbly, and like I'm drinking it, whatever, because like mine ran out, there was none left. And he starts kicking me. I'm like, bro, we're in the middle of a conversation. Like, I'm not saying this to him, but in my head, I'm like, we're in the middle of a fucking conversation with these guys. Like, they're talking to us about doing another $50 million of deals, whatever. And he keeps kicking me. And then, like, he whispers to me, he's like, don't drink that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Don't drink that. I'm like, fuck, like, whatever, bro. I share drinks with my friends all the time. And we leave. He's like, bro, I didn't want to take the shot, so I drank the bubbly and spit the tequila back in the bubbly. I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, fuck, man. Next time, just tell me.
I know the Serbian, he always tries to get me to drink at like fucking 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's in the espresso. You're fine. You're fine. Yeah.
No, man.
Tell me this after I drink it.
Yeah, we have a Zambuca. It's the Zambuca is what he likes, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess like I guess sort of to wrap up, like when's this stuff, like you've got some exciting stuff coming up, so can you talk about when your tech aspect side of the business is going to launch or when
I think that would probably be within 12 months.
Nice.
Yeah. Working actively on the book, that should be out hopefully in 12 months. But you'll see sprinkles of the education over the next 6 months for sure.
Nice.
Sweet.
Nice.
We'll throw
that's good with
yeah.
that's we'll throw that up for sure. That's what's good about down markets. Like down markets you can build. You have more time to build. Get creative.
That's right. I'm always building, man. It's always something that's going on in the background that I'm working on.
Yeah. Yeah, well you seem like you're just always doing something, man. Like you keep him busy, right? So
you have to. You have to.
I go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's so funny because I don't think I am. But, you know, you just have, then you have people reach out to you and you're like, you're an inspiration or thank you or you've helped me. And it's just like, what the fuck? It's like, how did I get here? And, you know, and it's like, it's just so, you're just blessed, right?
Yeah. I think like you probably enjoy it, right? Like there's definitely days I don't enjoy for sure, but for the most part, I enjoy everything.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you do too. And it's like, again, like you're just like, fuck, like I don't feel like I'm doing that much.
Yeah.
And then you look back, you're like, how the fuck did I get from here to here?
Yeah, well, it's when you wake up from your nap, you're like, fuck, I'm an ass. What did I do?
Yeah, no, man, that's the worst. I'm like, you shouldn't be napping at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. And like, my friends, dude, like, it's 10 minutes. Like, you literally set your alarm for 10 minutes and you've been still answering emails on the fucking couch.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right,
I know. That's my thing. Every time I do say I'm going to chill, I end up just spending time answering emails. Yeah.
Micro naps.
That's right.
Micro naps.
30 push-ups. I'll catch this guy in the office ripping push-ups.
Yeah,
man.
you have to. You have to get the blood flowing.
Keep the blood pumping. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. All right. Thanks, Andrew. This was awesome.
Yeah, man.
We'll
Yeah,
definitely
we'll
have to do it again. We'll be connected.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be in Toronto
deals.
in May, too.
Yeah.
So we'll connect with you and we'll...
Nice.
He's got some good deals we're going to look at, actually, as well. Some commercial ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the hookup.
He's got the hookup.
Fucking winery. I'm going to call Shane
And the
right
winery.
now.
Yeah, winery, hotels, whatever you need.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Cool, man. We'll put all this stuff
right.
in the description and we'll...
Yeah. Sounds
Thanks,
good, buddy.
man.